Fellow tennis nerds, I'm here with Nikki again. Nikki Roenn, ex-pro player, now doing Unstrung Customs, where he strings, customizes, does everything about tennis rackets and stuff. He's also a very good coach. And today he's going to help me explain how he hits his forehand, which is a very powerful weapon. You might have seen it in my previous videos. And it really penetrates the court. And I think a lot of you have commented that you wonder how he does it. And today we'll try to explain. I mean, it's not easy to copy, but we'll try to get there.
Yeah, so I'm going to run over a few kind of, say, the main core things that I try and do and also that I try and teach, and then I'm going to try and share them with you, and let's see if we can make your forehand stroke a little bit cleaner and try and get a little bit more of that sort of weighted ball and sort of clean striking.
Yeah.
So there are kind of two main items that I try and share either with students or that I think about when I'm playing, or if I haven't hit for a while, like two things that I remind myself to do in order to just time the ball a little bit better and try and feel the ball a little bit better. The biggest key that a lot of sort of good club players forget is to use their left hand. I would say it's the most important thing in every shot, actually, whether it's the volley, serve, backhand, forehand, it's the left hand and how you use it. So I'm going to kind of talk about that a little bit. I mean, I'm sure you've probably seen loads of videos online that kind of talk about like unit turns and stuff like that, which is great and important. However, it doesn't have to be always so exaggerated. You kind of have to find a way that works for you, because there's not one perfect way to hit a forehand. So the main thing that I try and remember to do with my left hand is just keep it across my body a little bit longer. And then you guys can also, most sort of like club players that perhaps haven't had loads of lessons as a junior, their take back is normally too close. And maybe if Jonas shows you a couple of his forehands, you can even see that Jonas's take back is also too close to his body. So everything is good, it's clean, but it's with a bent arm, but kind of quite close to the body. And it just means that the shorter your levers are, the less natural power you get. You know, I guess I hit the ball relatively hard for my height and my size. And I think one of the reasons is just because of my contact point and my arm is nearly straight and away from my body. So I get a lot of natural power. And the main aspect of that is my left hand and using it correctly. So something that you guys can try at home is just as you take the racket back as you would normally, just try and have your left arm nearly straight when you take it back. So whether you take the racket back here, do this, just try and make sure that the left hand is on the racket somewhere away from your body. So it's not in here. And again, you don't have to do this like crazy unit turn, look over your shoulder business. It's too much, it's too exaggerated. Do what feels comfortable. If you want to take it back to here and then open, or you want to take it all the way back here, both work. But just try and make sure that that racket is away from your body. It's just going to allow your arm to swing a lot more freely, a lot cleaner. It's going to have a nice clean swing path. So just by doing one simple thing and just try and keep that left hand for as long as you can. So one quick tip when you hit, it might feel a bit funny in the beginning, is you keep it out in front and then just leave it, and it's going to feel kind of awkward. Obviously you're not going to hit like that, but it's just that a lot of people, they set up nicely and then they go to hit and they open up, and a lot of the power is either going this way, that way, and you just lose so much sort of timing and natural power. So first tip is good preparation, use the left hand, keep it there, and then maybe we're going to do a few shots now with Jonas and try and get him to try that, see if it helps, and then I'll come back and we'll go on to sort of the next thing. We're going to start with a few normal forehands. You can hit them anywhere you want. I'm going to give you the ball nice and easy. Good. Nice. Let the ball come to you. All right, cool. So now I want you to think about taking that racket back the same way you were, just with a slightly straighter left arm, and then keep that left arm for as long as you can, because basically when you hit, you end up opening up a little bit and you lose that timing. Good, and I'm gonna give you the ball easy, so you don't need to like step into it and crush it. Let the ball come to you, because the focus should just be on this section. Better. Space. Good, nice. Moving. Yes, better with the left arm. Try not over rotate. Yes. Hold it. Oh, that was nice. Hold it. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, so like the majority of those balls, where did they go? Exactly, because suddenly all of a sudden naturally you just have so much more power. So now, doing the same thing, try and add a little bit more spin, But you see, just by doing something so simple, you have like, suddenly you gained like 2 meters in length. Yes, let the ball come to you. Good. Good. And try and close over the top of the ball, and you don't have to hit under it too much, just try and close over the top. Good, that one, but more space, space. Yes, still a little bit close. Better. Yes, I like that one. 3 more. That's nice. Yes. Hold it. Good, little bit more speed. Yeah, that's a nice sound though. That's the ball. Wait for it. Still too much. Overturning with the right shoulder. Try and keep that right shoulder back. Let the racket swing you through. Yeah, so you keep your left hand. As you hit, try not to let the right drop. That's it. Nice. 3 more. Okay. Yeah. Good. All right, nice. Okay, so there you saw, just by extending a little bit, Jonas's ball was really flying a lot more. It was kind of traveling another 2-3 meters from the same effort, the same sort of power. So you just get a lot more natural power. Then it's obviously a question of finding the balance between spin, how much effort you put in, you know, just sort of making a change for that. And that you can, yeah, like I said, you can either aim lower, you can take a bit of pace off, you can add more spin. That's kind of a little bit up to you, just so you start to get the feeling of the distance. The next thing I'm going to talk about is actually using your wrist properly, and how you kind of generate, like, not just top spin, but also punch in the ball, so the ball actually feels heavy. Because the big difference between a lot of players that hit the ball well and the ones that hit the ball really well is that their ball feels heavy. And like weight of shot, I guess, and how I would kind of explain that is the proportion of obviously going through the ball, but also spinning the ball at the same time. And it comes obviously from the wrist. And the best sort of idea that I can kind of share to kind of emphasize that is, as you hit and as you contact the ball, imagine that suddenly your hand stops and the racket suddenly releases quicker than the rest of you. So that means that it shouldn't all be in one motion. It shouldn't all be in the same speed. That your arm, racket, wrist shouldn't all be in the same speed. There should be like nice and relaxed on the take back, and as you swing, just before you contact with the ball, there should be a quick sort of, let's say, whip action, but it shouldn't be, the whip shouldn't be coming from your head or your body. You want to imagine that as you hit, hand brakes and you follow through. And it's just trying to get that feeling of you hold and the hand brakes and you follow through. And that's what gives you a little bit quicker, looser wrist without kind of going floppy or like hitting crazy spin high over the net, because that also isn't like, just having a high bouncing ball doesn't actually always mean like that the ball is heavy. You actually need like the ball to bounce and kind of accelerate off the court. And the best way of doing that is by making sure that you spin the ball, but the top edge of the racket as you follow through comes over the ball. So you close, so you don't go like directly up. Even if you look at someone like Rafa, who obviously finishes over his head, but if you slow it down, he actually swings through forwards and then comes up, which is like a misconception that a lot of people have. They see him and they think that he kind of just goes up, but he swings all the way through and then he comes up. So you really have to make sure that you swing so that your swing path is as long as possible before you come across your body. So now I'm going to get Jonas to just think about releasing the wrist ahead of his hand, and then I'm going to come back and talk to you about the sort of the last thing that you guys can try, and we'll see how that goes. I want you now to, when you hit, I want you really to imagine that before you hit without the ball, I want you to kind of feel that as you're exactly in that impact point, the wrist then lets go and it's able to travel freely, and that's what creates that sort of wrist lag. Some people teach it that you want to try and have your the butt cap facing as long as possible, but for a lot of normal players, it's actually not really possible. And what happens is that when people teach that, you hear, and then this happens, and you flap at the ball because it's like there. Yeah, so I feel like, yeah, exactly. And so to make sure that you still get spin, hold it, play as you would normally. Your hand stops slightly, your wrist goes, and very important that the top edge of your racket travels first and not up. So the top edge of the racket has to go first, and that ends up in sort of closing, and make sure that the ball dips at the end. So now we're going to put the two things together, left hand, space, and just as you feel the contact of the ball, should stop. And that's what creates that bounce and the spin. Okay, I'm gonna give you forehands again, easy. You don't need to kind of run into the ball. Let the ball come and make sure the focus is on the space and releasing the wrist. Keep that left arm a little bit straighter, yes. Nice. Yes, nice. That's it. I think you can even accelerate just a little bit more, but really make sure that when you close, the racket face is down and not up. Yep, wait, do that again. Stop. Look, wait, put the racket back. Now try, make sure the racket face, there we go. Yeah. Yes. Face. Yeah, try and get that racket face closed. Too much underneath the ball. That's it. Less spin, less height over the net. That's a nice ball. Take a little bit of space and then just really try and make sure that the racket closes. Yeah. Yes, that's a great ball. Nice. Yes, good, good, good. Good. Without turning the body, stay still with the body. Yes. Nice one, that one. Exactly. So when you
think about it,
exactly when you follow through, and I mean for you, you can also try to when you follow through, try and be a little bit firmer. You know, we were talking about yesterday that sometimes I finish very pronounced.
You finish very kind of firm.
And it's something if you look at Verdasco, he does a lot.
Yeah.
You know,
he's also very good at space.
Exactly, and he finishes like here. Same thing. Do it again. Do it again. Yeah. Eggs, and you need.
Yeah,
there.
it needs to be there, huh?
Just a little bit. I mean, you shouldn't obviously be breaking the wrist, but just that it's not facing up. Okay, now we've looked at sort of the first 2 points, using the left hand and sort of learning to accelerate the wrist in a sort of a cleaner fashion, let's say, to give you a little bit more weight of shot. The third point ties together with those first 2 points quite well, is that a lot of people are moving way too much when they hit the ball. Jonas is a good example of that. There's a little bit too much rotation going on, a bit too much movement with the legs. And if you think about when the ball is traveling towards you and you hit the ball, any movement you're doing that isn't in the direction of the ball, that you like the direction you want the ball to go, you're basically losing power. It's like trying to push someone, but like falling to the side as you push them. You're not going to be able to push them as well if you push them sort of in the direction you want them to fall. So to do that, keeping the left hand is obviously a great key, and try and really think about keeping your chest and your body still. But then the last point is actually focusing on the swing path of your hand. So whether you hit with a lot of spin or flat, you want your hand to actually travel from back to front as far as it can comfortably for you. And you let the racket and the wrist do the spin. A lot of people kind of like put the two together. So if they want to hit with spin, they go up and down. But then you don't get any penetration. And people that want to hit very flat, they just go straight and they get no spin at all. So you want to try and think about your forehand in, like, let's say 2 parts, where the wrist is what gives you the spin and the control, let's say, and your hand and your hand and your arm is what gives you, let's say, the penetration, the power, also the timing. So as you hit, everything the same. When you feel like when you've been hitting, whether it's on a hard court, clay court, you know roughly the height you're going to contact the ball. Maybe clay's fractionally higher, hard's fractionally lower. But when you know that height, you want to extend the hand through the strike zone at whichever height is comfortable to you. Whether you like to hit the ball here, it doesn't matter. But when you contact the ball, imagine that you're extending your hand through that strike zone as far as you can in the direction you want to hit, before letting the racket take its kind of natural path across your body and across the ball. Because that's going to just alleviate, much like the preparation with the left hand, it's going to stop you kind of over rotating and losing a lot of like natural power, natural energy that you could actually put in the ball. So as you hit, everything the same thing. As you contact the ball, just imagine that your right hand is pushing through the contact strike zone as far as you can, and then just let the racket kind of do its thing. So I'm going to get Jonas to try that now, because Jonas is a good example of that the shots are very clean enough, but there's a little bit too much body movement going on. So we want to see now, hopefully, from Jonas, a little bit more calm, body still, left hand out, and that his right arm hopefully travels further forwards and then comes across his body, and hopefully you should see like a less sort of bouncy trajectory, but the ball should have a little bit more weight. Hopefully the sound is going to be a little bit sort of deeper, fingers crossed, and yeah, we'll see how it turns out. yeah, now there's a couple things to remember. Obviously, we've put a lot of information into this video. I want you now focus left hand across, releasing the wrist, and now driving your right hand forwards as much as you can. Don't worry too much about where the ball goes. You don't need to be in the perfect position with your feet because you're just focusing on, let's say, the upper half of the body or the shot first. So let's see how it goes. Nice. Good, I want that body as still as you can. That's better. A little bit flatter if you can. Yes, left hand out. Ooh, good, but the sound was nice. Then you get just a couple of steps. That's the one. Extend that hand towards me. Yes, great shot. That's it, good, good, good. It's going a little bit long, but that you can adjust for. That's a nice shot. Yes, you can start to hear it as well now. Very good. A little bit close, space. Yes, use that left hand out in front. That's it, keep that body still. Yes. Nice. Actually, come and give me a few balls and then I'll do the same thing. Yeah, now I'm gonna try and sort of show as well so you can see me from the side what it hopefully looks like. There we go. Okay, now we're going to try and put it all together again. I'm going to move you maybe a little bit in and out, so you're going to have to adjust slightly, but still focusing on those three key aspects. Nice. Good, keep that left hand out. That's much better. Up, up, up. Yes. Yeah, really imagine that hand driving towards the target. Good, try and go down the line as well. Yeah, wait for it and really extend. That's nice. That's the one. Here we go, wrist. Yes. Vamos. That's nice. Extend forward. Yes. Don't close. Don't rotate, sorry, close, yes. That's the one. Same again. Woo! Very good ball. Yes, go on, extend that hand through the strike zone. Yes. Yeah. Left hand keeping the balance. Yes. That's it, close the racket face. Nice. Yes, go on, I want to hear more sound from the racket. That's it. Oh, nice horrible ball to finish. Yeah. When I give balls for example, in this scenario, you're practicing like something quite specific. Yeah. You don't need to no, but not only that, but you don't need to go after the ball too much. Let the ball come to you, so you just have to worry about feeling what you're exactly.
I've learned a lot today. Partly, I'm doing a lot of mistakes myself, over rotating a little bit, putting the arm too close instead of stretching out, being more ready, and I'm seeing I get a lot more free power. I just need to learn how to time that free power and get more spin on the ball. But the really being able to move more with your wrist actually helps a lot with the spin. Mm-hmm. You don't have to have a massive Western grip or a really strange swing to create topspin. You can just work on your impact and how you close your racket face. So all super great tips. I haven't really thought about this much before, and it really helped my game.
Yeah, I think, just in that sort of quick little sort of hour we did, you saw some quite clear improvements once you get the timing. There's unfortunately in tennis there's no quick fix, so it's not like you're going to go out there, listen, watch this, and then tomorrow you're going to hit perfect forehands.
You need to work on it.
You need to work on it. I would say when you do, if you go and take away a couple of these tips, I was trying to say to Jonas as well that let the ball come to you a little bit. Yep. Don't worry about your footwork too much because you're focusing on something quite specific and probably quite new. Yep. That if you're then also trying to get the perfect position and then you want to hit the ball really hard, so then you're moving too much. So tone down the footwork if you want to work on this specifically. Even if you're hitting with someone, you can just be easy with the footwork, but really sort of focus. Okay, left hand. hand out in front, and extend through the strike zone. And then once you start to get the feeling, the timing better, then obviously incorporate everything else.
It's much easier to learn something when you isolate it instead of just trying to incorporate everything.
Exactly, then it's too much information. You know, even those 3 things at the end was a lot, you know, just to think about.
You start here.
Yeah.
Like, okay, distance to the ball.
Yeah, do that for a while.
Slowly.
Exactly.
We did it quite quickly for illustration purposes, but it's something you can then work one piece by piece. I mean, look at the pros, how they do it. We talked about Verdasco.
Yeah.
You know, it's like he is so good at
every good forehand, clean forehand, there's whether the
elbow as well, right?
Yeah, and it's like whether the elbow's up, down, racket face here or there, as long as it's not something like very unusual, like I don't know, Kachanov has a very unusual forehand. Everyone else, I would say, has a very similar fundamental sort of strike. Left hand out, they keep their shoulders rotated, whether it's like a very big turn or not, it's personal preference, but you need that left hand in front, and it keeps you from over rotating the body, because if you over rotate, you lose so much power. The ball is traveling like, let's say, straight in from one side of the court to the other, and if you're rotating away from that strike zone, it's going to be very difficult to time, because the ball's coming this way and you're going that way. Then the moment that you can time the ball well is just decreased. There's like the window gets smaller and smaller. If, for example, I hit with a very, let's say, straight swing path, and it just means that, okay, the ball's coming here, I have a window of about this much space to time the ball. Whether I catch it a bit late, a bit too far in front, I can kind of adjust because I've got such a big window. If you're coming across the ball, you have literally only your perfect sort of contact point to time the ball well. Probably for me, it came from maybe not having the best footwork in the world, so I just had to learn to adapt. And so now I can I just have a way of being able to contact the ball well, whether it's, you know, wherever the kind of ball is. Feeling the ball on the strings, I want to say you nearly kind of imagine that you hit the ball sort of in line with your body and it stays nearly on the strings until your racket is fully extended, more or less. And that's going to give you a lot more punch. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the lesson. We were talking if you guys like it and stuff, we can maybe do a backhand edition later on.
We should. Thanks, Nick. It was a great
Pleasure.
lesson.